Hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar that we're going to have here with the University of Skövde. My name is Karin Jonegård, and I work here at the International Office as an international coordinator, and I'm going to let my colleagues introduce themselves. So Sarah, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Larson. I also work at the International Office as an international coordinator here at the University of Skövde. And we also have a few other colleagues here. So Richard, you can go next.
Hi, I'm Richard Sennington. I'm a lecturer in the School of Engineering Science, and I'm the subject responsible for our advanced level subject, virtual product realization. So I'm deeply involved in the program.
Yes, my name is Viwan. I'm a senior lecturer in the School of Engineering Science as well, and I'm a program coordinator for both master program, Intelligent Automation and the Computer Method in Engineering. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And please, Sarah, can you just give us some information about the agenda for
Of
today?
course, yes. So welcome everybody to this webinar for the engineering master's programs. We're so happy that you're all here. This is today's agenda. And we will try to make the webinar as detailed for you as possible so that you can make a well-informed decision when you're applying to our university for the fall next year. First, me and Karin are going to talk a little bit about Sweden and our town Skövde, as well as introduce you to our university, of course. And after that, you will get a chance to talk directly to Richard and Wei, who are here today, and they will tell you a little bit about the programs, and you will get to ask them questions also. We will then move on to telling you more details about interesting things such as student life here in Sweden, tuition, living costs, scholarship opportunities, and all of that stuff that you guys are actually usually interested in. And then I'm wondering, are we having a student with us today, Karin?
Yes, we're going to have Taylor, and she will join us. Yes, at 3
Yeah.
o'clock-ish.
Okay,
So,
perfect. I wasn't sure since she wasn't here yet, but I'd written down Taylor here. So yeah, you'll get to meet Taylor. She's an engineering student here at the University of Skövde, a master's student right now, and she will tell you a little bit about her experience here in Skövde as well. Finally, after you've heard all of this, you'll of course want to know how to apply. And so we'll try to tell you about that and go through the process of applying as well. After that, at the very end, we'll have a Q&A session where we will answer most of your questions that you will have left for us. And if you have any questions throughout the webinar, leave them in the Q&A box rather than the chat, because we like to leave the chat open for sending you guys links and things like that. So try to keep all the questions to the Q&A. And I will also like to tell you that we are using QR codes throughout the presentation. So you might want to keep your phone ready in case you want to take a snapshot of something that you might want to come back to later. So yeah, I think that's all the information that I had, and let us begin the presentation, Karin.
thank you. And what I'm going to do is something that is not typical being a Swedish person. I'm going to brag about Sweden because people in Sweden are very humble and we're also very lagom. And Sarah is going to talk about that concept of lagom really soon as well, after I've been bragging about Sweden, the little nation who has done quite a big impact. And the reason why I'm talking about making a big impact are all these things you can see here. They're Swedish inventions. We have the pacemaker, we have Skype, we have Spotify, we have, Bluetooth. We have so many interesting things that in that has connection to Sweden in some way. The other way or the other. And another really famous thing is the dynamite. And the guy who invented the dynamite, his name was Alfred Nobel, and he became very wealthy, which was very good for Sweden because it meant that he created this Nobel Prize that is really famous for everyone. You know, you will see the king and the queen, and they will hand off this prize. And it is so amazing with the prize is that there's so many people that has either being Swedish or had like some kind of Swedish connection that has won the prize. Just a couple of years ago, in 2012, it was a Swedish researcher called Svante Pääbo, who was awarded the Nobel Prize. And before that, in 2020, it was Emmanuel Charpentier and Jennifer A. Doudna who won the Nobel Prize. And Emmanuel Charpentier, the thing that was so great about her is that she was actually living in Sweden. And when she was doing some of her famous research, it was another university up in the north where she was doing a lot of her famous research that she later got the Nobel Prize for. And I think one of the reasons why we have gotten so many people either from Sweden or have had some kind of connection to Sweden who has won the Nobel Prize is the fact that we put so much money from our GDP into research and also invest quite a lot into inventions. That's why we also are one of the world's innovation leaders. And that was just some bragging about Sweden. And now I'm going to let you, Sarah, talk about the lagom. So you're going to have like a balance between bragging and being lagom.
Yeah, exactly. Because that is what lagom is, right? It's not too little and not too much. It's just the right amount. So if you haven't heard the term lagom like ever in your life, which probably you haven't if you've never been to Sweden before, I'm sure that you will learn it as soon as you come here. And even in this webinar right now, I will teach you about lagom because it's really important to us Swedes. So in many ways, Skövde is exactly that, exactly the right amount, not too little and not too much. The position of Skövde, you can see it in the map here. It's very lagom. And the reason I say that is because it's right in between the two biggest cities in Sweden, Stockholm and Gothenburg. It's also almost right in between the two biggest cities of our neighboring countries, Denmark and Norway, also in Copenhagen. So the position of Skövde is very lagom. And it's very easy to get from Skövde to other places in Sweden. If we go to the next slide, we can see some photos of why Skövde is really capturing the essence of being lagom. You can see the nature and the city life here. It blends together with greenery and everything is very nice and natural. The streets blend with quiet and green surroundings, and we still have quite a bit of city life and restaurants and cafes as well. So it's a very lagom mix of everything, I would say. On the bottom right corner on that slide, and also in my background right here, you can see the mountain Billingen. And from my personal experience, this is my favorite place in Skövde. And this is not only because I am a skier, because you can see the ski hill. I don't know if you can see it well, but it's right up here. So we do have a little ski hill here in our town. But on top of this mountain, it's a very lagom mountain. It's only 300 meters high. Takes about 40 minutes to hike to the top. And it's a favorite spot for not only people living in Skövde, but also for a lot of students coming here. You can do skiing, like I said. You can also do hiking and running, and there are lakes for fishing. There's a lot of things to do in Billingen. So definitely worth a visit when you come here. In the upper right corner, you can also see the monastery in Varnhem, and it's a beautiful old monastery. It's 1,000 years old, and it's the perfect lagom mix between the past and the present here in our surrounding area. But if we go to the next slide, I'm also going to do a bit of bragging now, because this is why Skövde is not lagom right now, or ever, I would say. And it is because right now we are actually Sweden's top student city. And you don't even have to take my word for it, because this year we actually won the award, Swedish Student City of the Year 2025, given by the Swedish National Union of Students. And the reason why we were given this award is because of our nice welcoming of new students, both national and international, and the context that our students have here with the local businesses and the public sector. We were also given the award for the increased availability for student housing in our city. So I just think it's so cool that we won this award. And this is actually, if I'm going to brag a little bit more, not the first time that we won this award. It's actually the second. So I think that speaks tons for how much we love our students here in Skövde and how welcome you guys should feel to our city when you come here. And Karin, do you want to tell us a little bit more about the university?
Of course, I would love to do that. The University of Skövde was established in 1977 by an act of the Swedish Parliament. We're a public institution, and the university is a governmental agency under the Swedish Minister of Education and Research. And what I really like about the university is that it is kind of this beautiful fusion between old and new. You can see there are like some old military buildings that we of course have renovated and updated with new decor and technology, but also, you know, a lot of new buildings. But what's so amazing that they really create this beautiful atmosphere where you can just sit outdoors and study. Perhaps not when it's snow, as you can see there on the picture. It is possible, but the best thing is during the spring, during the autumn, during the summer, you can just take your computer, plug in the wires, and just sit there and work on your group works, study, you know. It is possible because it's so really beautiful with the outdoor facilities is just amazing. And we will show, as you can see here, there are like pictures from all the different seasons. So there's something beautiful waiting for you here, just being outdoors, basically. And Sarah, just give us a short introduction about the university as
Of,
well.
of course, yes. So I'm just going to give you guys some numbers so you get an idea of kind of the size of our university, basically. So right now we have, this is a very specific number, so I'm sure it's right. We have 11,558 students with us here in Skövde, 495 staff, and 2/3 of those are actually academic staff. We have 60 student nationalities, 24 international programs, 130, actually more than 130 partner universities in over 30 countries, 450 incoming international students yearly, and more than 90 outgoing exchange students. So we're definitely a very international campus, and you won't feel alone coming here as an international student for sure, because there's a lot of them here. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the location, Karin?
Yes, absolutely. As you can see here, the blue line is indicated where the university is. And there you can see all these beautiful outdoor facilities I was talking about, where you can sit and study. There are really good chairs and tables as well. And the green line indicates where the Skövde Science Park is located. And it keeps on growing all the time. So when you come here, it will have grown a bit more than it is today. There's so many companies there for the moment, both medium-sized and small companies. And the pink area is like a joint facility where the left part belongs to the university, where some of our schools are located, among them the School of Engineering, as well as the right part that belongs to the Skövde Science Park. So, and then they share this restaurant where people will meet up and discuss ideas and connect. And we have 5 schools. We're a very specialized university, and we have the School of Informatics, the School of Bioscience, the School of Business, the School of Health Sciences, and the School of Engineering Sciences, Engineering Science. And it's where we're going to meet our program program coordinators from. So we're going to let you talk to them now really soon. First, I'm just going to give you some short facts about the School of Engineering. The head of school is Mikael Hallén. We have about 2,668, they're very specific, but just so you get an idea, students. We have 70 staff, and 9 of them are professors. A special focus are product design, manufacturing, robotics, automation. The subjects are within medical engineering, electrical engineering, product design engineering, industrial engineering, virtual product realization, intelligent automation. And I'm just going to let Richard and Bey, would you like to share your PowerPoint, and then we'll get back to the Q&A. So I'm going to let you talk.
Okay, sure.
Mm?
So which go first then? Richard, are you going to introduce the intelligent automation first?
I can introduce intelligent automation.
Yeah,
Are you sharing or am I?
you can do it better. Yeah.
Okay, give me a moment.
So I just want to highlight, you will get a presentation now from Wei and Richard, and after that it will be a bit of Q&A as I accidentally showed you on the PowerPoint. I give you a bit of a look where we're going to continue with. So afterwards, so just think about all the curious questions you have about the program, and we will get back to you. So Sarah, do you have any questions yet, Sarah?
I have so many questions about
Yeah,
engineering.
me too.
Every time I talk to Taylor, I'm so amazed by the
Mm.
engineering classes here at our university. I think it's so cool. Um, I was going to tell you about Assad already, but I'm going to save that for you guys. We're going to talk about Assad. Maybe Richard and Wei will mention it as well, but we do
Yeah,
have a lot of cool places for engineering here in Skövde.
and cool
ASA
stuff.
is included in the presentation.
Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome.
perfect. Perfect. That is one of our favorite places to be. They have so many cool things.
Yes.
So, um, welcome to our presentation about the two advanced level programs that we offer, computational methods in engineering and intelligent automation. Both of these degree programs are part of the field of virtual product realization. So both of them deal to some extent with the interaction and the integration of computerization and digitization with engineering requirements. Computational methods in engineering focuses more on process engineering. So it's more about how you run individual machines, such as cutting machines, how to run them optimally, how to integrate between the CAD diagrams and the machines themselves. Intelligent automation focuses at a higher level, looking at questions of how you might manage entire factories, and it deals more with topics such as robotics. Wei, at this point, as Director of Computational Methods and Engineering, I should
Yes,
pass to
sure.
you.
I can take over. Yes, first of all, I will introduce our master program, Computational Methods in Engineering. As Richard has introduced, we are focused on the production technique and manufacturing in the for manufacturing industry. And for the computational methods in engineering program, we mainly focus on different the digitalization methods of the different manufacturing processes, such as metal cutting processes, laser welding processes, casting processes, also, of course, the assembly process as well. And we try to, in this program, we try to teach you different techniques or skills to modeling the multiple manufacturing processes to create either the digital twin or the virtual replica of the counterpart in the real world. And after that, you can use this virtual twin or digital twin to do some simulations, to do optimizations of the different manufacturing process, try to save time and save cost for the companies. So yes, so Richard, right now we only have 2 years master. Our master program is 2 years. It's totally 120 credits. And an admission requirement, if you would like to apply this computational method in engineering master program, you have to get a bachelor degree from either production engineering, mechanical engineering, or manufacturing engineering, or equivalent. And please note that actually when you apply for the computational method in engineering master program, we have specific course requirements. So one is the 7.5 credits for the strength of the materials, because we have quite a lot of courses related to the structural analysis and the topological optimization stuff. So, and at the same time, you also have to get 7.5 credits for the finite element methods or equivalent courses. because we also have used the multiple physics simulation techniques and to modeling the multiple manufacturing processes. For example, the laser welding process. Later, I will show you what we have done or in our courses. And for sure, you have the English requirement, either in IELTS or TOEFL. So later, I think Karin or my colleague Sarah will introduce more details about this requirement, about your English language skills. And please. And yeah, as I said, as you know, right now we are on the shift from the traditional internal combustion engine vehicles to the electrical vehicles. So right now we are working, we are the official academic partners of Volvo Groups, both Volvo Group and Volvo Cars. And right now, as you know, we have this shift from the traditional vehicles to the EV electrical vehicles. So this is some cases we used in our courses. So for example, we are trying to assist or help our industry partners to manufacturing the electrical motors. As I show you here, we have the stator and we have the rotor, we have the outer housing and inner housing. This is just the example about the electromotions for the EVs. In the data acquisition and control and monitoring courses, we will teach you to use different sensors to collect the manufacturing data during the manufacturing processes. Yes, please. And yeah, this is the equipment we used for our laser welding process. We have a laser welding machine, and this is one type of sensor we used for in our research, and also, of course, in our course as well. We use a high-speed camera to get to try to find the physical details of the welding process. Yeah, this is the components we are trying to weld in together. Well, this is the helping. Normally, you get to see the copper wires, and we have to weld the helpings together. This kind of process we call the helping winding. And this is the video captured by the high-speed camera. As you can see, we use the laser welding to weld the two helping together. As you can see, we have the laser beam and try to follow a circle and to melt the copper. And after melting, and the two copper wires or helpings will be solidified and melted together, and then the welding process is finished. And as you can see here, we will investigate the different welding parameter, the effect of different combination of the welding parameters on the final welding quality. And right now, as you can see here, we have the laser power is 5,000 watts, and the feed rate of the welding beam is 500 millimeters per second. The laser pass, the shapes of laser pass, the ellipse, and the total number of the ellipse is 11. So after, as you can see right now, and the helping already melts. Right now, it's on the way of solidification, and finally it will be a weld. So the two helpings will be welded together. So actually this process happens really fast, maybe in microseconds. But right now, since we have this high-speed camera, and we can look into the details how the laser beam to melt the copper wire, and how the copper wire will be solidified and generate a weld. And due to this sensor data, due to this the capability of the high-speed camera, we can look into the details of this so quick welding process. Yes, please, next.
I thought it would just be interesting to at least let it get to the end.
Yes, and this is how the welds will be solidified. And based on this process, our students could be used multiple physics modeling techniques to create the virtual twin of this welding process. Yes, Richard, please play the videos on the right side and both of them. And you will see that we actually And we use this process model in our virtual modeling process courses. That's a huge course, 12 credits, and you will learn how to use these multi-physics modeling techniques. Try to create this digital twin or virtual twin of this welding process to see how the metal will be the copper wire will be melted and solidified to generate as welds. And if we can create this virtual twin in a real higher accurate with the higher accuracy, and then we can use this digital twin to simulate different combination of the welding process parameters. And as you in our master program, and you also will learn the optimization, multiple objective optimization courses. When we link this virtual twin with the multiple object optimizer, it will be possible for you to find a balance between the welding quality and welding time and the welding cost. So it will be really powerful tools for our industry partners. Yes, next, please. And this is another course related to the stratigraphic analyzed optimization, and maybe you have heard this. We call it topology optimization. And in this course, you will learn how to optimize the structure of the components and under the different loading conditions. Actually, this is the titanium brackets used to mount an aero engine on the wing box of our aircrafts. And you will see there are different load cases. And with the different load conditions, we will see where we should put the materials and where we could save some materials, because for aircrafts, it will be really important to reduce the total weight of the aircraft. So please, next. And after this topological optimization and do the stratigraphic analysis, we can optimize the material from left side to the right side. You see that actually the material saving will be around 75%. Actually, this is a work did by our previous students. Thank you. Next. And this is another course called model-based manufacturing. As you know, right now, maybe you have seen some engineering drawings before. We call it blueprints, and that means we use 3 views of the components to represent the shape of the product. And on the 2D drawings, you will get different annotations and to see what's the dimension of this structure, and other machining or manufacturing quality requirement. But right now, we already moved from the 2D era to the 3D era, and right now we use the product model as the solid data source. We will add the 3D annotations we call the PMI, product and manufacturing information on the 3D models. And in this model-based manufacturing course, we will teach you how to automatically to extract this information from the part model and try to build the link between this manufacturing requirement and the machine process knowledge. And if we can have built these links, we can reuse the machine knowledge rules and to drive the automatic process planning for our production production planning in the plants. So as you can see here, we have 2 holes. Number 1 and number 2, the shape is exactly same, but for the whole one, we have the tight tolerance. And since we built the link underneath, and when we drive this automatic process planning for the hole with tight tolerance, it will automatically generate the spot drill operation with the drill operation and the boring operation. But if you detected the original hole, which is number 2 hole on the screen, it will be only generate the spot drill and the drill operation in the computer-aided manufacturing software. That's totally because of we already built the links between the manufacturing requirements of the shapes on our components and with the manufacturing requirements. Yes, please, next. Yes, in our advanced computer-aided manufacturing course, you are going to learn how to do CNC programming for the components with complex shape, especially with the freeform surface. So yeah, the freeform surface right now was widely used for the product design, try to improve the dynamics, especially for the aerodynamics performance. So in this course, you are for it's to compare with the traditional computer-aided manufacturing for the multiple CNC programming. The cutters orientation of the cutters will be constantly changed along with the shapes of the product. So in this course, we will teach you how to plan the two paths, of course, at the same time also the orientations of the cutter at different points, try to remove the material to create the free forms, create the parts or products with freeform surface. Thank you. Please, next. And right now we have quite many research projects ongoing. For example, we have the process planning for the machining of the electrical mobility components. We have welding projects for the electrical motors. We also have the huge project called a virtual factory, try to use the knowledge-driven optimization techniques. And actually, yeah, we have new research program, new research project will come in soon. Actually, during our master program, we have two project course, the design and development project 1, design and development project 2, and our final thesis project course. You are allowed to talk with the project researchers, try to find your how to say thesis project or the course project for you, if you are interested with them. Yes, so if I want to make a quick summary for our computer methods in engineering, so first of all, it's the very unique program to offer you techniques for folks both on data analyzing and simulation techniques. And you are and you right now, as you know, the AI was widely used to assist to achieve the intelligent, what they call intelligent manufacturing or smart manufacturing. And in this master program, you are allowed to learn how to use different sensors to monitor the multiple manufacturing process. At the same time, you can use the data. You can use the different the AI tools to analyze the data to try to find the knowledge behind of the data. And at the same time, you are able to learn different virtual process modeling techniques to create the simulation for different manufacturing process as well. And actually, right now, as we know, this is that definitely is the expertise required or needed by the current manufacturing industry. Thank you.
Thank you. So to continue with intelligent automation, similarly to the questions related to computational methods, the future of factories, of course, is going to be far smarter, far more digitized. It's going to include far more robotics, and the usage of computerization, decision mechanisms, AI, will impact every single stage of the production process, including the design of products, the interaction of the design of the products with the production process, all the way through to models and simulations of the entire factory. And then we have to look at the question of optimization, for how to use optimization in conjunction with the simulations to try to drive better designs for production or better decisions within production processes. The Intelligent Automation Masters Program looks at all of these different topics. We look at modeling, we look at simulation, we look at optimization, we look at artificial intelligence, mostly in the context of production systems. And we are looking to also validate these manufacturing systems using virtual tools. So this is moving towards the digital twins. So we look at the question of the virtual components and how they relate to the physical components. This can either be at the level of an individual robot or at the production cell level. or indeed up to the production line level. The program is 120 credits over 2 years, exactly the same as computational methods, and it actually shares several courses with computational methods. The first term of the first year includes 5 courses which are shared between both programs completely, giving a basic foundation necessary for both programs going forwards. The 2 programs begin to diverge a little bit more through the spring of year 1 and the autumn of year 2. Intelligent automation particularly moves towards the question of usage of AI and virtual commissioning at the level of production lines and robotics. So we have topics such as virtual intelligent machines, engineering optimization methods and applications, and modern manufacturing technologies and applications, which looks at questions to do with how we might integrate large language models or virtual reality into production processes. In the autumn of year 2, we then have artificial intelligence for visual anomaly detection, which deals with questions of using deep learning neural networks for automatically being able to detect anomalies in production processes. We share model-based manufacturing with the computational methods course, and Wei has just been discussing that. We also have courses on autonomous systems, dealing with the usage of AI for robotics, and that looks at the question of autonomous mobile robots within factories, but also deals with certain elements to do with human-robot collaboration and the technologies needed for that. Virtual factories with advanced analysis looks at simulations at either the line or the entire production process level, and how to actually analyze data coming from the simulations. So it's reusing techniques looked at in engineering optimization, but applying to on a bigger, more practical scale. The 2 courses which Wei has already mentioned, but I've avoided talking about them until the second, the design and development project. As you can see, there is design and development project 1 and 2. So for a full 40 weeks, through the spring and autumn of year 1 and year 2, there will be this large group project activity where you'll be looking to apply the techniques that you're learning in these various courses. And the design and development project is shared between this program and the computational methods program. So the idea is that the teams within those courses will actually be a mixture of students with expertise from both sides of this field, working together on joint projects, which, as Wei said, might be brought in from outside industry or might be brought in from our research projects. And we round out with the final degree project in virtual product realization for 30 credits. The admission requirements are a little different to computational methods. Most obviously, we allow information technology as a background. That's because many of these courses involve programming, artificial intelligence, and the applications more at a high level of software engineering to the control of engineering systems. Otherwise, degrees in integrated product development, production engineering, automation, and mechanical engineering are also accepted. Proof of skills in English, which, as Wei mentioned, will be discussed later on in this presentation. Intelligent automation also has links to research projects, and these are examples of activities that we've done in some of our projects. This collision avoidance video, for example, the sensors are surrounding the worker, although they're not visible in the video, so that it is able to detect where the worker is and react accordingly, automatically adapting its path to react. And on the other side, we have augmented and mixed reality. So you can see the robot's digital twin in 3D and interact with it while the robot acts in the background. The asset innovation arena was a project which is set up between Högskolan Skövde, the Science Park, Volvo, and the Industrial Development Centre here in Skövde. It is a facility built in one of Volvo's old factories, which we have broad access to. Indeed, many final year projects are carried out there. So the facility is intended for a mixture of research, education, allows for demonstrations, either demonstrations of the results of research projects or the demonstration of student projects, or both, where the two are shared. And as you can see in the bottom corner, there is a stage where we are able to conduct presentations for industry, and actually we usually conduct the final year project presentations on that stage. We have a wide number of research partners connected either with the School of Engineering or with these two education programs. This is a selection of them. Some of them might be familiar, such as the Volvo Group or Scania. Others might be a little bit more specific to Sweden, such as Husqvarna, who specialize in tools, and they have a production facility in a nearby town. ABB Robotics is also a world leader in robotics. Our virtual production development research group is actively engaged, as has been seen from this presentation, in developing the technologies for future smart reconfigurable systems. And these education programs have come out of this research group and are integrated with it. We are Volvo's preferred academic research partner. We are a major ABB partner in education and a Siemens academic partner as well. And we invite you to join our programs and learn about the recent advances in industrial automation and decision support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sarah and I have been to Assa a couple of times, and we love it. It's so amazing to be there. It's like it's like a playground for people who loves to work with technology, and we love it, of course. It's so fun.
Yes.
I've tried like the wire glasses, what's called VR glasses. They're
VR
super
glasses.
cool.
Yeah,
And then you
very
can like
cool.
check how you were. Yeah, it is a lovely place to be. So I think everyone should go there because it's just super cool. So yes. Well, I was just thinking, I have just some questions. How does it look with the demands for engineers in Sweden? Is it easy to get a job after you have finished one of our programs?
As far as I'm aware, it is not difficult to get a job. I don't actually know of any students which haven't managed to get jobs. Several of our former students have ended up working for Volvo. A couple of our students ended up working for Northvolt up in the north. Wei, do you have any other examples that I'm missing? I'm afraid
Yeah,
Wei is
yeah,
gone.
yes,
Okay.
actually, yeah, yeah, I think we have quite many students who work for Volvo right now,
Mm.
and we also have students who works for the ABB, as you know. So they are either for the robots, also for the electrical motors as well. And we also have, as I understood, we also have some students work for the Saab in Linköping as well. Yeah,
But
which is the aircraft manufacturer
Mm.
in Sweden. Yeah.
I also think in this area there's a lot of things going on. For example, I live in Mariestad, and they're going to build like a new battery factory that is going to produce batteries for Volvo cars. So I think it's going to keep on, needing a lot of people with engineering background. I mean, you work quite much with Volvo. Can you just talk a bit about the different research projects you have? There's so many going on. I know that, but please, if you have some examples because I just want to highlight, Skövde is like a really Volvo city. We both have Volvo trucks, as well as Volvo cars. So if you can just give us some examples of the research and the collaborations that exist between Volvo
Um,
and
We can give examples of topics at least.
Mhm.
Volvo are very interested in the integration of various artificial intelligence tools and knowledge graph technology within their production facilities to try to either guide decision making, well, actually guiding decision making at many different levels, either at the level of design of products or at helping their workers within the factory itself. They are also interested in topics such as anomaly detection to try to automate the process of identifying faults in production processes. And they are very interested in extending the use of human robot collaboration and collaborative robotics in the factory. I believe there has also been some work on smart warehousing that has overlapped with us. This coming spring, I understand that Volvo actually want to organize a hackathon shared between the IT school and the engineering school on exactly the topic of using LLMs to try to support, sorry, LLMs, large language models, the text-based AIs that are obviously available. I've been criticized before about the acronym LLM. But they want to try to use those more to help support their workers in the factory by being able to answer questions. And they actually want to get our students involved in those sorts of questions.
I was also thinking when you were talking about the master project, is it possible for students to do their master project at Volvo or another company?
It is certainly possible. Every year when the projects come round, we actually contact various people at the different companies and try to build up a collection of projects, either projects with companies outside of the university or within the research projects at the university. And then it's up to the students to look through those and apply for them, etc. What I can say is that some of these companies can be quite competitive because Volvo will typically not make their projects available just to us, but you will be working with competing against students from other universities. However, a couple of years back, we had one student who was looking at the use of neural networks for controlling battery usage as related to electric motors, and that was working with Volvo down in Gothenburg. So he was working on the AI side to do that. We had another student a couple of years back who was working on the question of virtual commissioning and virtual commissioning methodologies. Technically, that was with Orabe, who were kind of a spin-off rebranding of Volvo cars, I believe.
Yes, and I see that we have two questions here in the Q&A, and I saw that Wei was answering one of them as well, but we can just read it out as well, because could you please share the entry requirements for the intelligent automation again? And Wei, do you want to just present it just as well?
Give me a second, I'll find my way back to this slide.
Oh, sorry, Wei, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes. Actually, that
Perfect.
question was regarding to the admission requirement for the intelligent automation.
Mhm.
Actually, we with the main requirement will be we need you have the bachelor degree in either integrated product development related to the design engineering, production engineering, automation engineering, mechanical engineering, manufacturing engineering, information technology, or equivalent. And so actually, we will when you submit your applications, we will evaluate whether you are belong to either you with this exact same major, or we will evaluate whether it's equivalent or not. For sure, we will have English language skill requirement for either from IELTS, TOEFL. I think we also accept the other English language test results as well. But later, I think Karin and Sarah will introduce more details.
Mhm. And there was
I
also,
can, oh, sorry, I was going to say, I can also add that we have previously accepted people with skills like electrical engineering, for example, and sensor engineering. These two definitely tend to fall within the realms of this. We have had people in the past apply with architecture backgrounds. We've been less happy about that.
and there's a question here as well. Does the university assist with attachment for internship in Sweden?
I think there's a question of what kind of internship. I believe there is, for example, support for Erasmus internships, which involves working with groups in other countries or having exchange courses with other countries. We have a student at the moment who's actually looking at a possible internship with the European Space Agency, and I understand there's some level of Erasmus support there. But I'm afraid I don't have all the details.
And we have been talking quite a lot about Assar, and then I realized that we have a couple of films from Assar when we had like this huge conference there. So, Sarah, when we have the possibility, we can just put the link to our international Instagram, the University of Skövde Instagram, and then there will be two films you can look into. Sarah has done one of them, so then you will get a bit like an idea how it looks. So, and yes. Do we have any more questions here?
Yes, I thought one is a B2 for I don't know, yeah, mainly regarding to the English language skill requirements. So yeah, maybe maybe Kari, you can give more details about this English language skills requirement.
Absolutely. We will get back to that because we will go through all the different types of English skills and we will show you how to apply. And because when you're applying for this program, you need to apply through university admission, and we will give you like we'll go through firmly the different steps. So we will guide you there as well and give you a lot of more information about yeah, what you need to check out depending from which country you have been studying in before, as well as the English requirements. Yes, I can't see any more questions, but I just want to ask both Richard and Wei if you can write your emails in the chat. You're, of course, allowed to sit here and hang out with us for 1 more hour, but if you need to leave, then you need to leave. But if you who are either looking at this recording afterwards or now have any questions, you can just find it in the chat. So. Yes, so thank you so much, Richard and Wei. We will continue now with the PowerPoint presentation, and Sarah and I will continue talking a bit more about studying here at the university.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Q&A. And then, Sarah, do you want to talk a bit about all of our international programs? Now we have been talking about two, but we have a couple of more.
Yes, of course. So, I'm just going to run you through some of our international programs because we do have 24 of those at our university. And I think this is maybe important for you to know because maybe you have a sister or a friend or somebody else that you know that want to apply to our school as well. Maybe somebody coming with you when you're studying engineering here with us and they might want to study as well. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the programs that we do offer. We have, like I said, 24 international programs within the fields of behavioral sciences, bioscience, business and marketing, engineering and technology, which we're talking about today, game development, health sciences, and informatics. At a bachelor's level, we have 4 full-time programs at 3 years in duration. And at a master's level, we have 20 full-time programs, and they're all 1 to 2 years in duration. So just quickly going through our bachelor's programs, we have 4 of those, like I said. They're in biomedicine, cybersecurity and network administration, molecular biodesign, molecular bioinformatics, and then we have our 1-year masters. They're artificial intelligence for bioinformatics and biomedicine. And those two with the asterisks there, those two run in the spring, just so you know. For the autumn semester, we have business development and marketing, cognitive neuroscience, mind and brain, data science, games aesthetics and narration, infection biology, molecular biotechnology, and molecular ecology. And we also have 2-year masters, and they are quite a few. We have biomarkers in molecular medicine, computational methods in engineering, which you heard about today, data science, game development in both player experience and serious games, infection biology, intelligent automation, molecular biotechnology, molecular ecology, privacy information and cybersecurity, as well as systems biology with a specialization in bioinformatics. So yeah, that was quite a lot for you guys, but I just wanted to run through them so you have heard all of them. In case there's something you're interested in, you can always check them out on our website. We have a QR code right here that you can scan, or you can just go to his.se/en/education, which you see on the screen right here, and you'll find all of the programs and more specifics about them right there. Colin, do you want to tell us a little bit more about the engineering and technology that we talked about today, just to give them a recap?
Yes, of course. So the two programs that Richard and Wei were talking about are Computational Methods in Engineering, a 2-year program, 2-year master program, as well as Intelligent Automation, that is also a 2-year program. And they were really great because they prepare the students for a digitalized industry. And we have talked about this strong collaboration with the Volvo Group and ASSA Industrial Innovation Arena. It is a hands-on integration of academia research in industry. As we were talking about earlier, it is people get jobs from this education, so it is like really good to invest your money into becoming an engineer. We have a lack of engineers in Sweden. And Sarah, do you want to talk a bit about the integration as well with the business community?
Yes, of course. So I think Richard, or was it Wade, that already mentioned this, and they had a much cooler slide than us showing all of these different brand names, which I think that's a great idea, and maybe we should adapt to that a little bit because I thought that was cool. But we do have, like they showed you, we do have a lot of different partners, such as Volvo, where we are actually the preferred research partner, like they talked about, both in areas like virtual manufacturing, process point analysis, and maintenance. We also work with Scania, ABB, Huawei, Sandvik, IKEA, Microsoft, AstraZeneca, the Swedish company Arla, and yeah, many more partners like this, which is very exciting. And not just for our school, but most of all, it's exciting for our research and for you guys, our students, because this means that you can really benefit from this. And you're building industry connections and getting real world experience while you are still students, which is definitely something you're not getting at every university. We have this here and we're super proud of it. It improves your career prospects also. And like Richard said, he doesn't even know of many students that, or if any, that haven't gotten a job after they are done with their master's programs. So I think this is just such a good thing for you guys here, that we have these partnerships that really reflect the trust and quality and just a shared vision of the future between these companies and our university. So, Connie, do you want to tell us a little bit about Science Park? Because we haven't mentioned that yet.
Yes, so we have this science park in Skövde, Skövde Science Park. And that is like this collaboration. You saw before when I was showing the map, that is like an integrated part of the campus. And it's a center of research and innovation that was established in 1999. The aim was to create this interaction between the surrounding business community and the academia. As you have understood, we work really closely, the academia, together with the surrounding business community, so quite a success. Another aim, of course, with the Science Park is to help students who graduate from the university, mostly within the IT field, to start up their own companies, which is done in this business incubator. We also have something called the Sweden Game Arena. Sarah, please tell us about that.
Yes, of course. This is another very nice collaboration that we have between the academy and the business, where we really come together with society to create something amazing. And the Sweden Game Arena was actually one of the first game arenas in Sweden. It's been just a very innovative place for the gaming industry in Sweden. It's really a hub for gaming here in Sweden, I would say. It consists of 200 game developers and more than 500 gaming students. And every year, Sweden's largest conference within gaming is also hosted here. So that's really cool. Yeah, the other day I actually met a student from Asia, and he wasn't even studying games, but he was interested in gaming, right? So he was gaming and he was telling me about this game that he was playing. And he was so excited because he came here to Skövde and he actually met the developer of that game right here in our small town, which I thought that was such a cool story. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of innovative people that come together here in our town. And we also have Astarkaden, which we've already mentioned, but maybe you want to say something more about this place.
Yeah, as we mentioned, it is a meeting place, basically like a showroom where different stakeholders within the manufacturing industry or technology companies can find relevant contacts. So as we're going to keep on talking about this really cool place, and we're going to also give you the link to our Instagram, where you will be able to see it a bit more. Because sometimes when we have had webinars, we have had colleagues who have been walking around and showing, the robots and all the cool stuff that are there. It is an amazing place. If you're studying to become an engineer, you have so many cool places where you will carry out your education. I'm a bit jealous. Last time I was hanging around with a colleague from the engineering, I just wanted to switch career. Sarah, remember that?
Yes, absolutely.
It is really great. And we also have research environments like the digital health research, the here, and we also have organizing for sustainable development, virtual engineering, and a lot more. I recommend always all the students to check out the QR code, check out the different study and research environment because it will give you an idea about what type of education that is conducted here and which field of research that we're specialized in. And I think it's really great for you to always find out a bit more about that. So please check out the QR code with the research environments. And yes, just some really great tips. So basically, learning Swedish is the best way to feel at home. And also to boost your career, of course. That's why we will offer you the Swedish courses to help you settle in, make friends, and also get a couple of more job opportunities after you graduate because many companies in Sweden as well as across Sweden they really appreciate if you when you start there can speak a bit of Swedish. So just join these classes and you will do the best investment into your future, except studying the program, of course, because that is the most important investment into your future. And the course about the Swedish culture, it will start during the introduction program. It's about Swedish culture, society, and basic Swedish phrases. So it is really great because then you will understand a bit how Swedish people work, their mindset. So you will not be shocked when people expect you to take off your shoes when you're entering their house. If you don't, you will be considered being very, very rude. So, getting all those kind of information that is just something you otherwise would have perhaps not figured out, and people will have looked very shocked at you. But it is free of charge if taken during the first semester. And then we have another course that is Swedish for foreign students, where you will get some basic, pronunciation, combination, and things like that. And it is 6.5 credits, and it's free of tuition fee if it's taken during the second semester of studies. And we're just going to introduce you a bit to the student life. Well, when I say we, I mean Sarah.
Yes, I'll give it a try at least. So here in Sweden, what a lot of international students find quite different from what they're used to is the learning and teaching style that we have. And this is for many reasons, but I think mostly it's because we're very focused on independent thoughts and independent studying. So, hi, Taylor.
Hi, Taylor, welcome.
So, what this means is that even though you might only have like one class one week or three classes one week, and they might only be like 2 or 3 hours long, you're still expected to study the full 40 hours that week because you are here for full-time studies. So what that results in is that you're actually supposed to study outside of the classroom. So you're supposed to study independently, going through your course material, preparing for classes, maybe studying with your classmates, doing group work, all of those things. So just be aware of that because I think a lot of people find that quite different from what they're used to. We also have a very flat, non-hierarchical organization here at the university. And this is something that I think every time I ask a international student what they find is like the most strange thing here in Sweden is that you're not supposed to call your professor professor, or that you're not supposed to call your whoever. We don't use Mr. or Mrs. or we just go by first name here. So that means that I call Karin Karin, I call Taylor Taylor, that's just how it is here in Sweden. And I think when we say this, people don't really take it seriously until they come here because they're like, oh, they say that now, but is it really going to be like that? Yes, it is going to be like that. You're going to be probably surprised. But another student the other day, actually, she told me that like it's more like my professor is my colleague rather than my professor, which I thought was really telling of actually like the ambience of our university and what it's like to study here. So cool. We also have a very student-centered education where your professors are really focusing on you as a student, trying to help you develop all of these like independent skills where you get to work on your group working skills and your research skills and all of that stuff that you need to boost your career. So like I said earlier, we have 2/3 academic staff here at our university. So that means a lot of support for you guys, which is awesome. We're also really proud of our international integration at the university. Like I said in the beginning, we have more than 60 different nationalities here. And like you've already seen from this lecture, I mean, me and Karin, we're both from Sweden, but Taylor is from the US, and our two professors earlier also not Swedish. So we already have a lot of integration, both in the academic staff, but also among the students. So we're definitely very, very internationally integrated here at the university. And you definitely benefit from that in so many ways, building global connections while you're still students. And yeah, I think that's pretty awesome, right? Karin, do you want to tell us something about the student support that we have?
Of course, I would love to do that as well. And the thing is that even though things might be a bit different, we're not going to throw it to the wolves. So if you come here and you're a bit scared and like, oh, this group works and everything sounds very different, no worries. We have our study and career counseling with our study and career counselors, and they will help you before, during, and after your studies. So they will give you like provide general study advices as well as career counseling for your future career. So when you come here, they are going to give you a presentation where they will give you tons of good tips how to structure your own studies when you come here. And we also feel here at the university, or not only at this university, but on Genovises in Sweden, that if you're studying at the university, and you have some kind of disability, it should not prevent you from studying here at our university. So if you have dyslexia, ADHD, or autism or anything like that, we will support you. So you will see this woman you see here, it's our colleague, Virpi. She is one of our colleagues that will help you to support you through your studies here. It could be like get help to go through your timetable, visit a room which you will spend your first day in, things like that. Or perhaps if you have dyslexia, you will get a bit of extra time when you're writing your exams. It could be things like that. And well, the favorite place of all of our students, which place is that, Sarah?
I don't think it's the lecture rooms, actually.
Yes, I might.
I
Sorry.
don't think so. I think it's actually the library because a lot of students have told me this both recently and like ever since I started working here. And I don't spend enough time in the library myself. I know you did like a couple of days ago, Karin. You said like, "Oh, I'm sitting in the library working." I thought that was such a nice idea. So I might do that one day because the library definitely has so many benefits, both for students and for staff. There are a lot of group study rooms. There's free access to books and articles, both in physical and digital form. We also have the Study Support Center. And that is different from the Student Support Center that you just heard about from Karin. So in the Study Support Center, it's more focused on like how you're writing, you're like developing your academic writing style, how you're like referencing your language, your style and structure, things like that that they can help you with. So I would definitely look them up if you are coming here and you need help with that stuff, because they're so helpful and really great at teaching those things for sure. And every time I look at this photo, I just think it's so boring and I keep forgetting to change it to something better. So we definitely need to update this, because this place, like, it has exercise bikes where you can use to when you're studying, and they have these balls that you can sit on for, like, you know, a little bit of variation in how you're sitting while you're reading something. And they just have so many cool things. So we need to update this for sure.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us about the extracurricular? And I'm sure Taylor will talk about this as well, but
Yes, she will, because she's the president of ESN that we're just going to mention, but Taylor is going to give you so much more information about that. So the thing is that education is better with friends, of course. Not everything is about studying, and which means that we have special interest groups. We also have the student union. And the great thing about the student union is that it's run by students for students and work with issues that affect students at the university. So, for example, if you belong to a committee here at the university, there will always be, basically almost all the times, someone from the student union there as well, and being their representative. So, for example, if I work very often with fixing bilateral agreements, and then I have to go to the vice chancellor's meetings. Every time I go there will be the vice chancellor and some other high-ranked officers, as well as the president of the student union and the vice president of the student union. And they also, of course, arrange a lot of fun things as well, like dinners and stuff like that at the what we call Kårhuset, which is the student union place that is so beautiful. It's like one of the oldest buildings here in Skövde. And then we also have ESN, that it means the Erasmus Student Network, but I'm going to keep that treat and give it to Taylor to talk about. And just some voices that you can hear from some of our students. So, for example, Teresa here, she's actually studying together with Taylor, but she says that the best thing about the University of Skövde is its strong emphasis on practical learning and innovation. Elliot from France, he feels that the best experience have been working on hands-on projects with peers from different backgrounds. Bosra from Syria, she thought that this was the perfect place to kickstart her career as a researcher. And Faith Grace from the UK, she felt that the international education has expanded my experience and perspectives. So just some of the voices from our own students. Sarah, when I come here, if I'm a new student, what happens? This looks like a really great picture, so please tell me what's going on there.
Yes. So let me tell you about the international introduction. So this is actually a full week dedicated just for you guys, the international students that are coming to our school. And we're so excited to have you here that we are using confetti to celebrate. We're having a band play for you guys. Like the vice chancellor is going to have a speech specifically for you. There's going to be a lot of things going on. So I would not want to miss this week. It's the best week of the year for sure. And it's also, other than like learning about, of course, academic procedures, seeing our facilities, learning about our services, there's also a social program for you guys. And I think this is really important, because this is a great way for you guys to meet friends, because this is one of the questions that I get like a lot, is like, oh, I'm coming by myself. How will I be lonely? Is there going to be somebody that I can hang out with? What if like there's only Swedish students and I don't fit in? Like all of those questions. And I can tell you from experience, like this week, this year, I was there for the full week. And the first day, like the students were so like, they were shy, they were kind of keeping to themselves, and everybody was kind of trying to find their way. And then by Friday, like it was like everybody had known each other for basically a year or like their whole lives. Like everybody was so friendly, they were having fun, they were like chatting, and it was hard for me to like, the first day it was so easy for me to like talk to people because everybody was looking for somebody to talk to. And that like the last day I was like, okay, so nobody wants to talk to me anymore now because everybody had found friends already. So it's really cool. And I just think this is such a great way for you guys to meet each other and find people that you're going to hang out with probably for your entire time that you're studying here with us in Sweden. And I'm sure that Taylor will mention this as well, and that she probably agrees with this. But yeah, so definitely don't miss this. We have a schedule for this that usually comes up on our website in this QR code. But right now, that page is dedicated for our spring students. They will experience this before you guys, of course. But then we will update it, and you can find information for the autumn when you guys are coming. We also have exchange possibilities, and we will mention that shortly, Karin.
Exactly. So, I mean, Sweden is great to live as of course as well. But then you might also do an exchange. You might have an exchange possibility as well. It means that you can have a traineeship, an internship abroad, a semester abroad, depending which program you're studying. But it is like a really great thing to do as well. If you come here or if you're already in Europe, you might, travel around, get a bit of extra of doing the whole European experience as well. You can check out Go Global for a partner university. That is the QR code, so you can check that out as well. And Richard was talking a bit earlier about that, having like an Erasmus internship that is possible as well within this program. But you can just check out that for more information. And we have something called Ingenium. And Ingenium is like this European University Alliance. The last time I checked that, I think they keep on growing all the time, but it was about 40 or 50 European University Alliances all over Europe. And we're very proud to belong to one. And ours is called Ingenium, as you can see here. And there are 10 different universities who are participating in this alliance. And yeah, they are located in Spain, Italy, France, Finland, Ireland, and Germany, Romania, and a couple of more, and yeah, Greece as well, a couple of more countries as well. And our focus areas within this European University Alliance are within education, research, and entrepreneurship. And this is like really great because as mentioned, it's a European network. It also has mobility and experience in different ways. So for example, I usually mentor, which means that we have something called 10 days of Ingenium. It's in the summer and in the winter. And then I will go to one of the countries, one of the universities that are that are located in, yeah, it could be like, France, it could be Finland or another country. And then we will meet students from other universities within our alliance. And it's like a great opportunity for you to, build your international network and also train your intercultural skills. Because the one that I'm responsible for being a mentor for, it's junior winter school. It means that there will be about 5 students coming from our university and 5 students from all the different universities coming together and studying together for a week. And then it's also going to be some online preparations and tasks before and afterwards. So if you don't have the possibility to do like a semester abroad, you can do like one of these short blended intensive programs called BIP. That is very often like 3 credits. And we do them within this European University Alliance in Ingenium. And so there's also a lot of innovations projects, and it's a very future-oriented education and a project, I would say, as well. So really cool. Yeah, so a lot of opportunities for exchanges, short-term stays as well. And yes. And now we're going to talk a bit about tuition and living costs. So Sarah, I've been sitting here for almost 1.5 hours now, and I go like, yes, I want to become an engineer at the University of Skövde. How
Yeah.
much would it cost?
Exactly. So to specify, the tuition fees only apply to non-EU EEA citizens. This is a question that we get quite often. So if you're an EU or EEA citizen, you can be exempt from this. So just so you know that. But these are the tuition fees for the academic year of 2026-2027. So the first slide here shows bioscience, cognitive neuroscience, informatics, engineering, and game development. The one-year master programs are going to be 155,000 Swedish crowns. The two-year master's programs are going to be 310 Swedish crowns. 310,000 Swedish crowns, sorry. And the three-year bachelor's programs are going to be 465,000 Swedish crowns. And these fees are all going to be paid in installments. And what that means is that you pay an equal amount before every semester. So you can basically divide the full fee by, if you're studying for 2 years, you will be dividing that by four for 4 semesters, obviously. So for these prices, it's going to be 77,500 Swedish crowns before every semester. And that's around 7,000 euros, if that's easier for you guys. And on the next slide, we can see the business and marketing program. That's a little different. That's a one-year master's program, and it's going to be 110,000 Swedish crowns paid in installments by 55,000 Swedish crowns before every semester, or around 5,000 euros. We also have some other costs to think about, don't we, Karin?
Yes. So if you want to live here, that is unfortunately not for free, I wish, but you have to pay some things. And food will cost you about 2,770 Swedish crowns. I just want to highlight, if you want to understand when it is in euros, just take away a zero, basically. Accommodation is about 4,900 Swedish crowns. You could say about 500 euros a month. All of these are per month, all of these costs. Local travel is about 550 Swedish crowns, but if you live in Skövde, everything is really closely by, so perhaps you won't need to use that as much. Phone internet, about 400 Swedish crowns, and then you have all these extra things, clothes and, books or for your studies. It could be about 1,964 Swedish crown ish prices altogether. It's about 10,584 Swedish crowns, about 915 euros. And check out the QR code because it comes from Studying Sweden. And Studying Sweden has a lot of useful information for you. And they also do some webinars as well, and that will prepare you for your stay here in Sweden. So check that out as well. And I always say, where do I live? You always say stuff.
Yes. I live here in Skövde already, but you guys also want to live here, right? So where are you going to live when you're coming here? Of course, you're going to be looking for probably student housing or an apartment, if I'm correct. And the University of Skövde does not have guaranteed housing. We want to point that out. But we do have 4 accommodation areas with furnished rooms that are going to be around 365 to 460 euros per month. And you can apply for these as soon as you receive your admission, but there is a queue. So it's first come, first serve for these. And we do also have exchange students that are competing for these spots as well. So just make sure that you are really applying right away. As soon as you know that you're admitted, apply for housing, basically. And you can do that in that QR code right there. One thing I forgot to mention about the slide earlier is that no families or pets are allowed in the student housing. That's important. So if you're coming with a family, you're coming with pets, or you just want to live in an unfurnished room, maybe, you can check out the largest landlord here in Skövde. It's called Skövdebostäder. A lot of these Swedish and ä in their name, so that might be hard to pronounce, but I've tried to write it in big font right here, and you can also find it in the QR code as well. Skövdebostäder does not have furnished rooms, but they do have a queue for both student housing and regular apartments. And what is great about this, and I learned this tip the other day from another student, and I thought it was genius, is that even though you haven't been admitted yet, you can still put your name in the queue at Skövdebostäder. And that means that you can basically put your queue in today. If you know you're applying to Skövde University, you can put your name in the queue and you will get 1 point for every day you're in the queue. So you guys aren't coming until autumn, right? So that's a lot of months where you can gather up, your points. So do that. Go to this QR code right here and find the queue. and get in queue if you know you're going to be applying, because then you will basically have, I don't want to say guaranteed housing, but a much better chance of getting housing for sure. So that's a little insight tip for you guys, that only you guys at the webinar get this tip from us. So scholarships, Cotton, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course. So we have the University of Skövde's Master Scholarship. It is like a tuition fee waiver. So it will cover 50% of your tuition fee. It is available for only for non-European or EE master students who have chosen the University of Skövde as their first option. The application is open. The deadline is on the 10th of February 2026. And I just want to highlight, when you write this application, highlight why you think it would be so amazing to come here at the university, and you know, why studying at the School of Engineering would like give you so many good advantages for your future career. So it's like a lot of focusing on what studying here would be great for you in the future, so to say, for your future job and future life. And that's why it's always good if you can connect it to some kind of research that you feel very passionate about. That's why I always say check out our website about our different research projects, because that's a really good angle to bring into the small video that you're going to do, as well as the short letter you're going to write as well. You can check out the QR code and just, you know, and start to look into it. We're going to have, like, I would recommend you to check that out. And then we're going to have later on this digital open house, and they will be able to meet our colleague Andrea, who is actually the one who's responsible for the scholarships. And then you will be able to ask her tons of questions. And you don't have to wait to the digital open house. You can always send us an email as well. And we will get back to the email later on. And now we're going to let Taylor talk. Over to you, Taylor.
Let me unmute myself first. That's always important. I have a little presentation to share. You should see. Oh, I might need to pull it. Give me 1 second to share it.
I'm just going to say that it's starting to switch between the seasons, because you see it's me and Taylor who are a bit into the autumn, and then we have Sarah who has already gone into the winter. And because Sarah loves the winter, she loves
Yes.
skiing, so she can't wait.
Saw Sarah's and I was like, oh, she's already switched seasons. It looks much more
Yes.
like her.
I mean, technically, if we are realistic here, there is snow on the ground outside
Yeah,
right
I
now.
was looking
Yes.
out when we were
So you guys are like way behind. Like there is actual snow on the ground right now. I wish I could show you like my camera,
Is it-
but there is snow
There
on
we
the
go.
ground. Yeah.
Okay, sorry for the slight technical difficulties on my end. But here, just a quick agenda of what I'm going to be talking about. Maybe introduce myself and how I came to Skövde. I want to talk about what it's like to live in Skövde, and then what it's like to study here, and then the student life that everybody's been talking about. Oh, okay, there we go. So a little bit about me is, as they've said before, I'm originally from the United States. I actually came to Sweden once in 2021 to see a friend get married, and I came to Skövde for that. So when I was looking for programs, I started Googling and I found the automation program here and went, I know where that is. So it's always nice. Before this, I was working as a manufacturing engineer in the aerospace industry, and then my undergraduate degree is in mechanical engineering. But my program is quite diverse. I'm in the intelligent automation one. We have students from sort of all sorts of backgrounds. Some people studied automation in their undergrad. Several of my course mates are actually like computer programming people, so they come from the computer science world. And then I have two cats, and that is them in my apartment here in Skövde. So I know that's a question I get asked a lot is, can I bring my pets? And you can. They moved from the United States to Sweden with me. So living in Skövde, what is that like? Basically, life in Skövde is very convenient. There's wonderful public transport. You have the Vastrafik app, which works not just in Skövde, but also the entire like Västergötland region. So if you want to go to Gothenburg, you use the same app that you use in Skövde to take the bus, to take the train into Gothenburg. That's really convenient. Everything you need is nearby, so all of the stores are within a 10 to maybe 20-minute walk. If you want to go somewhere maybe a little bit bigger to one of the outlets on the outskirts of town, that might take you maybe 45 minutes if you were walking, but 20 if you're going to take the bus. And then there's a lot going on around the town. I have a friend who once said that Skövde was very, very small, but for a small city, there is a ton going on. So there's lots of like karaoke. There's a pub that does live music. You have all of the student activities that you can participate in. And then student housing is really close to campus. So if you end up renting from Skövde Starter, you will live very close to campus. I'm about a 10-minute walk to G building or A building or E building, which are most of the buildings where my coursework is in. And then you're also centrally located in Sweden, which I personally think is really nice. You can get to Gothenburg in about an hour and a half, and then you can get to Stockholm in 2 to 4-ish hours, depending on which train you get and if there's any delays. And of course, if you want to go farther south, like I think it was a 5-hour train for me to get back to Skövde from Copenhagen. So it is really easy to travel through most of Sweden and then also a little bit of other neighboring countries. So here are some pictures. I don't have any winter pictures in this one. It maybe is the next slide, but this is fall and then also summer in Skövde. So the weather is very nice. You get to experience all 4 seasons. If you're coming from a place that's never gotten snow before, you will definitely get to see snow. But then it can be a little bit warmer in the summer, but the summer was still quite temperate. There's also a lot of, when I talked about things to do in Skövde, one of these is the Culture House in Skövde is really nice. It has an art museum and a library in it, and the city does a lot of programs for students that you can participate in. So there's language and fika cafes, which I believe is it's maybe not every week, but it's at least once a month. The Welcome House hosts these language and fika, so you can go and practice speaking Swedish with people. And this is open to students and non-students, so you can maybe meet other people and other internationals living in Skövde, and then as well as like native Swedish speakers. And they do events at the Culture House as well. So sometimes they'll have Swedish and art, so you can go and learn some vocabulary related to Swedish and art. And then the fire is, I'm gonna need a Swedish speaker to help me with Volborg.
Valborg, exactly,
Yes.
Valborg.
It's a festival kind of to like what for the start of summer, right? To celebrate that we've survived the winter, they set a really big fire. And that was really fun. That was hosted in sort of a park nearby, and you could ride canoes, and there was food, and Volvo's men's choir performed. So there's a lot of cool cultural activities you can participate in as well. Of course, in June, there will be Midsummer, and then there's the National Day. Uh, St. Lucia Day is coming up soon in December, so all sorts of cultural activities that you can also participate in. And then that bottom picture is Mike's Pub, which is a local restaurant slash bar in town that has live music that my friends really like to go to. So here is sort of where Skövde is located in the Västergötland region. Like I said, Gothenburg is really quick to get to, but I've also been to Borås, I've been to Karlsborg, I've been to U. I'm gonna get the pronunciation there right eventually, which is on the one of the lakes. So there's a lot of travel you can do even within Skövde and Skaraborg, which is the region that Skövde is in. And there's a lot of really beautiful nature if you want to spend an afternoon by a lake or if you want to go hiking. One of the famous national parks is quite close to Skövde, Tiveden, as well. This is pictures from Gothenburg. The Natural History Museum is free for students. That's another really big benefit to living in Sweden is a lot of places have student discounts or free admission for students. So definitely be sure that you sign up for your student discount card when you get here and that you're taking advantage of it and that you're asking if they have student discounts because the Natural History Museum was really cool and I got in for completely for free. And then one of those is a picture from the islands. So Gothenburg is an archipelago like Stockholm, and there's quite a few islands that you can go to as well that are very beautiful. And your Västtrafik app also works for the ferries to get out to these islands. And then this is in U, so this is the lake. It's on one of the two largest lakes in Sweden. I can't remember if that one is Vatten or Varnen, but and this is some local delicacies. There's an ice cream place in U that's really famous. So one of my friends had gotten their like famous ice cream there, and we had to take a picture. And then just some more pictures. We went to Shorn, which is another island in Gothenburg that I went to with ESN. It was a trip that we planned actually, and it was really cool. We spent the weekend there. It was, you could do a lot of hiking, but it also had the Nordic Watercolor Museum, which was another really fabulous, cool museum that we all got into for free as students. And then the bottom picture is cranes. So every year, cranes migrate from Spain back to Sweden in the spring. And then in the winter, they're probably leaving now or have already left. But my friends and I got up at 5 in the morning to go about 45 minutes away to see all of the cranes migrating, which is really cool. And I think sometimes even the international office will do a trip to go see the cranes. They didn't last year, but I know it's a kind of regular trip that they organize. So you know what it's like to live in Skövde, but obviously you don't just go see cranes and hang out in Gothenburg every week. So what is it like to study here? So, as I said, I'm in the intelligent automation program, but if you're interested in the other engineering course, there is quite a lot of overlap in our coursework. So, most of my classes are shared, and then it's a few, maybe one or two courses a semester that are different for the two of our programs. Our cohort is really small, which is quite lovely. I get a lot of one-on-one time with my professors, and then I also get to know my classmates very closely. So there's about 10 of us in my year, and I started last year. So for the 2024-2025 group, there were 10 of us across both programs. And my program has 8 students, and then the other program has 2 people. So we get a lot of one-on-one time with each other and our professor, but also another thing I think WebDA does really great, especially the engineering department, is they have a close relationship with local industry. So a lot of our professors are doing research for Volvo or other companies, and we get to, one, learn about that research, but also sometimes participate in it. Like later, I will talk about, I had a project last semester that I worked with an actual company here in Sweden. And now me and my classmates are sort of continuing our project and we're actually getting paid for it, which is really cool. And then there's one, like I said, opportunities to work on practical projects. So this is Skövde has a SAR, which is this innovation lab that companies can come to that's supposed to connect industry with the university. So basically, companies come to ASAR and they can use university students and research to help with their projects. So this picture over here with the camera is my classmates Teresa, who I think actually was in a picture earlier. And then our other course mate, Isaac, we developed this AI vision system for a company to do quality detection on one of their products. And they liked our proposal so much that we're now, like, the university has given us a little bit of money to work on implementing it into their actual manufacturing production line, which is really cool. So when I graduate, I'll have my thesis project, but I'll also have this. And then, it's giving me a little bit of money too while I study. So there's definitely opportunities like that can happen. And it's all because last semester we had a course that was just a project with different industries. So we worked with this company, and then some of our other classmates worked either with professors or other companies in the industry. So outside of studying, oh, actually, because I didn't, last time I presented, it was not to engineering students. One thing I do want to say that I really like about our program is that they're very receptive to feedback. So Richard, who is sort of the course coordinator, for our program. Maybe he spoke before, I'm not quite sure. He really, really like is always asking us to meet and he takes our feedback really seriously. So he's already been making changes to the courses and program based on things that we've told him. So I don't get to benefit from it, but you will. And I just want to say I think that's a really big benefit when you are like you can say, "Oh, I didn't like some of the content in this course," or like I think these two courses would have made sense later in the program. And then they take it seriously. It's quite nice. And another benefit I think of being a smaller school too is that you get to have that one-on-one conversation with the course coordinator. But so, student life, because obviously you aren't always studying. So, beyond your studies, you can do things related to unique Swedish student culture. I think that is one of the biggest benefits of coming to study in Sweden that not every international, I think, does to the fullest, but I think you should participate in it. So, Swedish student culture has these things they call ovas, which are overalls that you wear, and they're specific to your studies, like what program you're studying. And then you get them, you have to initiate them, and then you can wear them with the basically the overall part. Everybody wears it down, so you just wear them like pants. But before you've initiated them, you can't do that. And people will sew patches onto the overalls, and you get them at different events like sittnings. And it just shows what you've done as a student and the activities you've participated in. Sittnings are basically at either outdoors or indoors events where you go and people drink and get up and do performances. And there's generally dinner, but it's a social activity that you do with other students. And they're really fun. I went to KB's Halloween Sitting, which is the student-run pub on campus. It was very cool. And then there's also student organizations for really a wide variety of interests. There's a organization. There's going to be an organization for each sort of study department. So there's one for the biosciences. As an engineer, yours will be his tech. And these organizations don't just plan events for you to participate in. They also, for instance, collect examinations. So you can go to them and they can show you old exams from past semesters that you can use to study. Or to say you were to have a problem with your study course, you could go to them and the student union and they would help you negotiate with the school about the issue, which is definitely something I think internationals are maybe not aware of and you should utilize to its fullest. I'm a member of a student organization called ESN, which is short for the Erasmus Student Network. You don't have to be on Erasmus for this. The goal of our organization is just to promote the internationalization of universities. So in Skövde, we do that by supporting international students. We provide a lot of survival guides and how-tos before students get here. And then once you get here, we also do activities and things, and everything is in English. So we have board game nights. We've had poetry nights in the past. We hosted International Week. And then sometimes, for instance, we'll collab with other unions on campus. So I think with the Biosciences Club, we did a sitting that was basically to introduce internationals to what a sitting is. There's also a new student organization on campus called Atlas for theater. So really there's a ton of different things. Whatever you're interested in, you can find. And then another thing that is great about studying in Sweden, like I mentioned before, is you have all of these student discounts. So you'll get an app called Mecenat, which will have your student, basically an ID on it that says you're a student. And there's a ton of places you can go and you can show that card and you'll get a discount on it or you'll get free entry, things like that. So here are the overalls. Maybe this is a little bit of a better visual of what they are. And these are patches. You buy them from other student organizations or you get them by attending events. And then you have to sew them on the overalls. And it basically shows like what you've gone to while you were here as a student. It's also quite common for you can see my overalls there have a little bit of green on them. That's because I have a friend who's in another section from me and we've traded our like arm to indicate to people that we're friends with each other. So it's another way to show like who you've made friends with, what clubs they were in, like what organizations you were a part of. It's very cool. And then you wear them out when you go to the student bar or you go to events. They're basically designed, I think originally it was so students didn't have to get dressed up when they went out and things. They wanted something more casual to wear. So these are me and my friends out after our sitting with Vitae. As you can see, too, my friend there has traded her leg with another engineering student. So you can kind of see how they work. They're really cool. You should definitely buy one when you get to Sweden. And then, so for ESN, these are some of the activities I've been involved in. Another great thing that I really love about ESN is that we're not just specific to Skövde, so we're a network. We belong to a larger national organization, and then our national organization belongs to an international organization. So I've gotten to do a lot of travel within Sweden as well as outside of Sweden. So one of these pictures is we have a weekly board game night, which is really nice, especially now that it's getting dark earlier and earlier. It gives you something to do in the evening, so you can fill that sort of time with friends and fika. And then one of these pictures with the overalls again is my friend Lena. We were in Latvia. We went to Riga, Latvia for the Northern European platform with ESN. And that was, for Lena at least, it was paid for by our organization. And we participated in some seminars and networking activities with students from all over Europe, sort of similar to Ingenium in that way, that you maybe get to travel around and meet students from other parts of Europe and sometimes not Europe as well. It's a lot of internationals. And then the other one was from a sitting held by Lund at their cottage weekend that they invited the whole network to. So myself and three friends went and we rented a car and we drove down to Lund and spent the weekend there exploring. It was actually outside of Lund, but it was very beautiful nature. We did canoeing and things like that. And we got to meet students studying at the University of Lund as well. So there's a lot of opportunities, not just to meet people in Skövde, but to make friends from all over Sweden. And then you can maybe even travel to go see them and see the whole country, which is really beautiful. That is sort of a quick summary of what student life is like. If anybody has any questions, let me know.
Thank you so much, Taylor. It's so fun and interesting to see all the things you have done, but I always love to see the pictures with the cats because I'm a cat person as
Yeah.
well.
So
So I
I'm
love.
hoping they stay asleep behind me because I'm at my house right now and they don't. Because I have done webinars before where they've decided to make an appearance.
Okay, but that's quite lovely. I like that. I always like, COVID was the best thing with cats because you can see their tails walking like that. I loved it. It was so amazing. Yeah, but it's quite lovely, and I'm so glad that you're showing the possibilities that you can always bring your pets because some people think that that might be impossible, but as you said, it's very possible,
No,
but you also need to follow the rules from
absolutely.
Jordbruksverket,
And there are a
agriculture.
lot of students that
Mm,
I know, quite a few who
mm,
brought a cat or a dog,
mm,
and many of them live in the student housing. So,
mm. So that's great. I'm just going to ask you a couple of
of
questions.
course.
So I will ask the first one is when you came to Sweden, what did you think was, oh, what's happening here? Is it like a culture clash, or it's like they just keep on queuing up all the time, or whatever you found was a bit strange or
For
fun?
me, it's like definitely, and like buses and stuff, people put their bag on the seat so you can't sit next to them.
That's true.
And no
Yeah,
one makes
that's
small
true.
talk. I'm from the Midwest of America. Swedish people kind of give you a weird look if you just start talking to them out of nowhere.
Hmm.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. I was
Unless
so
you're
shocked
in,
at this when I lived in the US because I used
yeah.
to live there. And when I first came there, I was like, people are talking to me here? Like, why are you talking to me? I did
Mm,
not understand like small talk at all. So that's
Well, now
definitely, I
I get
agree with
kind of
you.
reverse culture shock when I go home. I think when I went home for Christmas last year, I was in Chicago in the airport and somebody just started talking to me in the TSA line, and I was like, what's going on
Yeah.
here?
Well, I can say if you live in Gothenburg, here in Sweden, then people talk a bit more to each other on the street. So that is like if you want to do a bit of small talk, go to Gothenburg. Not to Stockholm though,
Which you can
because
do
they
Oh,
with the vast traffic gap.
oh
yeah, true.
yes,
I'm
of
sorry,
True.
course.
I'm a big fan of the public transport in
Mm.
Skövde and Gothenburg. It's really nice.
Yeah,
It's so
it
cheap, by the
is.
way, to go. I mean, it's like
Yes.
what is it, like 10 euros ish to go from Skövde to Gothenburg.
Yes.
I think it's like it's
Yeah.
crazy. And it's super lovely. I mean, I usually go to Gothenburg now and then. It's just like it's so cheap.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's great.
Mhm. But more culture shocks you experience were like, okay, it's Swedish people.
Oh, I feel like now I have to think about it. Oh, you guys put really weird things on pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a one
Colin
that's
does
a
that.
lot. There's
bananas.
shrimp, bananas, French
Yeah.
fries. Kebab pizza is very good. Anybody who comes to Sweden, you have to have a kebab
Mm,
pizza, but it's a little bit of a culture shock the first time you go into a pizzeria. Also, how much Swedish people love pizza.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many pizzerias in Sweden.
Mm.
Yeah,
But they're
that's
not
yeah,
like
that's true.
Italian pizzas that
No,
I
no, no. But
want.
you probably have almost as many pizzerias as Italy. They're just not
Yeah.
serving Italian pizza.
No, Sarah thinks it's so fun because my favorite pizza is like with chicken, bananas, and peanuts. And that is called either like Africa or Nor. It depends
Oh,
on
yes.
where you eat it because the different pizzerias have different names for the same pizza. Sometimes it could be African as well. And it is with curry as well. So I
Mhm.
love it. And Sarah's like,
I love curry
Nope.
pizza. The banana I'm not sold
But
on.
the banana, and then I'm allergic to peanuts, so
oh
it's
yeah.
like everything I can't have or like don't like. So no. That's gonna be a no for me.
So then I can take care of all those things
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, well, Taylor, what is the best advices or tips you would give to a student coming here and studying at the University of Skövde or in Sweden or Skövde?
Absolutely. I think Sarah's advice to join the queue for Web Devo Starter is really good. It definitely do that because the longer you're in the queue, the more points you can get. But also, international students do benefit a little bit because we get our decision before the national students.
Yeah.
Yes.
So a lot of times the national students know how the system works. They know that they're going to
Mm,
have to like find housing. So they've maybe been in the queue for
Yeah.
a lot longer than you have because they knew this was going to be something that they needed to do and they knew how it worked. But you know about it beforehand, so sometimes you can get an apartment just because you bidded on it earlier and they've already given the apartment to you. So you're not competing with somebody who has like 500 points in the system already. So join as soon as you know you're going to come to Huevda. Even before, if you're just
mm,
thinking like if you have a list of universities, join Huevda Starter. Unlike a lot of cities, it's free. Some cities make you pay to join their queue,
Yeah.
but Huevda's is free. And then as soon as you know and you've paid your fees, start applying for apartments.
Yeah.
So that's
any more?
one really important thing. I think once you
Mm,
get here though, really
mm,
like get involved on campus and get involved
mm,
in student life, whether that be joining ESN, which I hope
mm,
everybody does, but also like the student union. For instance, the VTI is the bioscience union, but they have a lot of internationals. The new theater performing one has a lot of internationals and has been doing everything in English. There's a music one. I think the student union has been doing a really good job this year at promoting everything in both Swedish and English. So there does seem to be a big push on the student union as well to integrate internationals. So I would say join and get involved in Swedish student life and embrace it because it is a great part about studying here.
Yeah.
And I think that like the more you embrace it, the more you like can adjust to life in Sweden and also make Swedish friends because I have quite a few Swedish friends and I think part of it has been because I sort of embraced the student life of it.
mm. Well, thank you so much, Taylor, for joining
Yeah.
us
Oh,
and for
thank you.
giving you the best advices and tips and all of your experience. I'm wondering if you can put your email, your student ambassador email in the chat. So if any
Absolutely.
because the way I work is that I always get my best questions afterwards. Then I'd be like, oh, yes, that one. It's like, so then you can
Yeah.
send tailored email. I see that someone is raising their hand. Unfortunately, we will not be able to, we can't switch on your cameras. That is like, because we have a webinar and it means that when we're having like an open meeting, we can do that. And we usually try to do that, but unfortunately we can't. So please write your questions in the Q&A because we can't switch on your cameras or unmute your microphones, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, hold
Okay.
on. Let me copy that in. Anybody has any sort of question, feel free to email me if you want to know more about the program or just like life in Sweden and being a student. But there you go. That
Yeah,
is my student ambassador email.
If you
perfect.
also want to put the link to the ESN Instagram, you
Yeah,
can do that too.
Oh, yes, I'll have to look
Yeah.
that one up.
you have to
But
Yeah.
do that.
we do have a lot of really great resources
Mm.
for students. Actually, we have a website right now that has
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
some new, I'll
website.
just link to the website and then you
Yeah,
can find our
Perfect.
link tree, which links to everything, which is
That's
great.
great.
that's
Mm.
awesome.
And it
Great.
has a whole tab with like everything you could possibly need to know once you get here
Mm.
about public transport, housing. I think we even have a section about Systembolaget and how that works
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
because not everybody knows about that before they get here. So,
We need to explain that. Like in Sweden, you can't buy any type of alcohol. Well, you
right.
can buy a bit if it's just like 0.2 percentage.
Yeah, you
Like,
can buy kombucha at the grocery store
yeah,
basically,
yeah,
but like if you need
exactly.
wine for cooking or
Mm,
anything, you
mm,
have to go and it's not open at the most convenient hours. They close very
mm,
early and open kind of late. So you
mm,
have to plan your day around buying your white wine if you want to make a pasta that night.
Yeah.
exactly. So I think it's the Nordic countries that have that. I know in Sweden we have, I know in Finland and Norway as well. Denmark, I'm a bit insecure about if they have, but it's like a very
Right.
Nordic country tradition to have that. Yes, well, thank you so much, Taylor.
No problem.
And we just want to say that we're also going to have a digital open house later this autumn as well. And we're also going to have, we will get back to more of our webinars as well. But then you will be able to meet some of our students again. I think, Taylor, you could not participate in the digital open house this year,
We're hoping we
unfortunately.
might, me and Teresa are going to ask our professor if he can change our lab, but
Oh,
as
then we
of
could
right now, we
well,
have a lab at that time.
yeah. If you could, we would be very happy. And then you would
Yeah.
meet as well Teresa, that is studying together with Taylor, who is also one of our ambassadors, that you will be able to also send an email if you have any questions to as well. So thank you so much, Taylor, for joining us.
Yeah,
No
thank you
problem.
And
so much.
and then they might see you again if you are, we hope that you will be able to join us at the Digital Open House again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So then we're going to continue. And let's see. So this was our student success story. And now we will get into a bit how to apply because now you have gotten so much information. Now we're going to give you our best tips about the application procedure. So first of all applications are made via universityadmission.se. Please, as we have mentioned before, check out the QR codes and then you can follow us as well. And it is important that you submit all supporting documents. And if you come from a non-European country or EAA country, you need to pay a fee, application fee of 900 Swedish crowns. And it's very important that you pay that application fee. Otherwise, they're not even going to look into your application. So please pay that. And you're going to apply in what we call in the first admission round. It's from the 16th of October, which means it's open since like a month back until the 15th of January. And please remember that in Sweden, a deadline is a sharp deadline. There might be a possibility for you to send in afterwards, but then it's considered being a late application. And, it depends from which country you come from, but it might also affect your possibility to actually come in here because you need to apply for residence permit for studies. And that might be a bit too late if you do a late application. It might be possible depending on which country you come from. Well, so you see here, application period opens January, application deadline, April, notification of selection, your results are published, and then you have to pay your tuition fee and do your residence permit application. And then in August, we will have this amazing international week that Sarah was talking about, International Introduction Week. And here are all the important deadlines. So the deadline, as mentioned, is on the 15th of January 2026. The 2nd of February is the application fee deadline. It's you need to pay your application fee of 900 Swedish crowns or about 90 euros before that. On the 2nd of February, it's the deadline to document fee exemption status. So if you come from a European country, then you need to show that you are a European citizen. And then you don't have to pay that tuition fees and things like that as well. And then also on the 2nd of February, you need to send in your supporting documentation. It's the deadline for that one. And then on the 26th of March, the admission results will be published for the masters. And if you're applying for a scholarship, it will be published about the same time as well. At least our scholarship will be published at the same time. So and also our university will contact you if you need to reply. So the last day to reply is something that is different depending on which university you apply to. And I just want to highlight, I will highlight that as well later on, but what you need is the required documents are the bachelor degree certificate. You need to have it in an original language and an official English translation. So ChatGPT is not good enough. You need to have like a stamp and saying it's an official English translation. You also need to have your full grad transcript for all semesters, again, original language and official English translation. You also need to have proofs of your English skills, English level 6. It could be IELTS or TOEFL. It depends on your country-specific requirements. You also need to have a copy of your passport, a final bachelor year. If you're studying for, are in your final bachelor years, you need to have a statement of enrollment certificate. And it looks like this. And here you also have the QR code for that. I think I'm going to show you, we will go here and I will show you, let's see, university admission here. So here you will find all the dates and deadlines, of course, and here to apply for masters, you will get information about that as well. And here you will get like all the documents that you need to provide basically. But let's say you come from India, for example, you search there, and then you will be able to see if you meet the general entry requirements, because you have like the general entry requirements depending on which country that you have been studying in. So it's not where you have your citizenship, but it's where you have been your degree from. And that is something they will look into. And after that, the second part of the application is that they will look into the requirements for the program. So you can check that out. And also depending on which country, and it depends on if you meet English requirements or not. Because in some countries, you will meet the English requirements with your upper secondary studies, and some not. So you always have to check that. And then you have, then you have an English language requirement that if you need those, then you can see here, for example, how you meet them with an English test. I saw that we had some questions about that. So IELTS, you need to have 6.5 on your IELTS, for example. And here you also have, yes, you will see here, for example, an overall score of 6.5. It's what you will need to apply for our programs. And here you can find all the TOEFL, IBT, Cambridge, Michigan Language Assessment, a lot of different more Cambridge. So here are all the tests. So you can just check that out as well. And let's see, let's continue. And here we go. I'm just going to also give you some short information about the migration requirements. And before I forget to say, it is so important that when you remember that you're ranking your options. So if you want to study Sweden, make sure that it's your first priority, number one, because you will be accepted to your number one priority. So if you have ranked a university as number 3, but it is like the place you want to be, then and you're accepted at your first priority, then you will lose priority 1 or 2 or 3 and 4. So it is important that you make sure that the program that you want to study at the most, you will put it first. And you can't change the ranking after it has been closed. So after the 15th of January, when they have closed the application deadline is. If you start to change your priority, it will be considered a late application, and that's not good. So think through firmly what are your first choice, and then don't change anything after the 15th of January. And I'm just going to mention some things about the migration requirements. So this is the requirements if you're a non-European student or EIA student. You need to be admitted to full-time studies to be able to get a residence permit for studies, and studies needs to be campus-based. You need to be able to support yourself during the time you are applying, as well as you are here. During the time you are here, you have to have paid a tuition fee before you send in the application for non-European or EAA students. So, as mentioned, need to apply to able to support yourself during the time period you're going to be here. Upon graduation, well, then you have the possibility to apply for a residence permit to look for a job, do an internship, or open up your own business in Sweden up to a year. And that was just the false version. We're going to have a specific one because when you have, we hope that it's a matter of when, not if, you get accepted here to the University of Skövde, then we're also going to have like a pre-departure webinar where we'll go through more firmly into how to do your application for residence permits. But I think Sarah is going to talk a bit more about the different types of webinars we will offer to you.
Yes, I can tell you a little bit about this. Well, if you're here today, you already know that we have webinars like this, and we've hosted quite a few now about, I would say, most of our programs, but all those you can find on the website. So you are able to find them again to re-watch them if you've missed one that you are interested in. So that's really good to know. And if there is one left you want to come to, of course, you can also sign up for that and come to another webinar if you wish. The digital open house is going to be on December 3rd in the afternoon, Swedish time, between 2 and 5. So that is a great opportunity for you if you are indecisive about which program you're going to be studying. For instance, you might want to talk to different program coordinators, different students from different programs. You can go into separate breakout rooms with these coordinators and students and just ask them any questions and hear information about different programs. So I would definitely tell you to come to the digital open house and also invite other people that you think might be interested as well. I can leave the link for where you can sign up for that in the chat, just so that you can do it right away, because spots are limited for that. And I know that our colleague sent out 6,000 invites today. And I think we have, I don't know how many spots, but maybe 500 or something. So if you want to come to the digital open house, I would definitely sign up soon so you get a spot. So I just posted that in the chat right now. We also have other webinars for you guys, of course, because just because you have been admitted to our university, we're not going to throw you to the wolves, like Colin said earlier. We also have webinars for you to learn about all the things you need to do before coming here. We have webinars about how to make, first of all, how to make a successful application. Then we have a webinar about what to do after you've made a successful application and you've actually been accepted, what to do when you come here in Sweden. So we're always here to help and support you. And if we go to the next slide, I think you can see our email there as well, right? No, okay. So we also have our student ambassadors. Let me talk about that first. So you already met Taylor that was here today. And we also have these four and another girl, Madalena. So we have 6 student ambassadors in total. And these guys are also a support system for you guys. So if you have any questions about any program, you can always go to this QR code right here, and you find them on our website, or just go to our website and search for student ambassadors, and you will get the link there where you can just email them about basically any questions that you have. Because Colin and I, we're both Swedish and we have not been international students here in Sweden. So I think these guys are much better equipped at answering you when it comes to questions about student life and just in general being a student here with us. If we go to the next slide, we also have some ambassadors for study in Sweden. They can find their stories here in these QR codes, and they have all been studying with us at the University of Skövde. So I would recommend checking them out as well, just for some inspiration. And here's our email. So I'll put that in the chat as well. So if you have any questions, like Colin said, the best questions always come after the webinar. So if you have any questions, feel free to email us. Yeah.
And we just want to say that we're really looking forward to welcome you to our university in August. And for the people who are looking at the recording, we would say thank you for joining us. And it has been lovely to have you here. And for the one who's participating live, we'll soon start with the Q&A.
Thank you so much,
So
everyone.
thank you.